Stellar XLM fans, we've had some big announcements come out of Meridian, and I'm going to share them with you. We'll also talk a little bit of price action. What about Brad Garlinghouse? Oh, he's got something to say about XRP making it into the U.S. asset stockpile, but there's a catch. They don't want to... I'll get into it. We've got something big we got to worry about in terms of government shutdown. Stopgap measures, they seem to be failing. Will Bitcoin's next wave come with regs? What about the next wave of money? We'll talk about that along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Along with your comments, because you, the viewer, matter most, even on Sundays. Oh, baby. And guess what? The next wave of money is going to come with regs. Well, when's that going to happen? We're going to talk about it. But before that, like I said, your comments, want to get into it? Sure, because there's some really juicy ones. Chino BX, yeah, BX all day, baby, says, one of the only channels not selling you anything but giving you all the juicy tidbits with spicy humor. You're my hombre, Klaus. Well, thank you very much, kind sir. Yeah, and if you stick around to the end, I put nuggets in all the way to the end. Don't just do the tip. I do the whole thing. Cassius props is Klaus. Do you believe that once we get regs, all the supposed signed NDAs with Ripple will go into effect and we need to get real utility and cash flow? The NDAs don't have to do with regs. The NDAs have to do with protecting Ripple and what they're doing. Okay, the whole thing with an NDA is this. Let's say that I'm Ripple and I'm going to release this huge blockchain program, but I want to see if people are interested in it, right? I need maybe some integration, some Rail help, some wallet help. So I contact some people. So I contact this group of people and I'm like, yo, I've got this project, but you got to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. That way you don't talk about it, which keeps my intellectual property safe. So that NDA is not out there because we don't have regs. The NDA is out there to protect Ripple so other people don't steal the tech and the direction. Great question. See, that's why user comments come first. David Austin says, do you think the October interest rate cuts are already priced in also? No. By the way, here's your latest odds. 91.9% chance that we're going to get another 25 basis point cut. The reason I don't think it's coming or priced in is because of... Yes, because of government shutdown. See, in terms of pricing stuff in, the market looks at the big events that are coming up. And right now, government shutdown is in our faces. We've got about 9 days until the deadline for this. This is going to take center stage. Now, once the government shutdown is done, and we figured out, hey, we're either going to extend it or we're going to suffer, whatever the case may be, then we start pricing in rate cuts. All right, so just kind of keep that in mind. If there's something big happening now, the market's going to focus on that. Things like rate cuts, which are in the background, that gets priced in after the news, especially government shutdown. Look, government shutdown is not good for us. We do not want that to happen because it would pull out a lot of U.S. capital. And think about this. XRP, strategic reserve, you kind of need, we'll get into it, and that's why government shutdown comes into play. Altcoin season, 74 out of 100, 102 billion in volume for the crypto market. So we're kind of meh, if you get what I'm saying. The real altcoins, though, have started rolling since the 7th of July, where we were at an index of 22 and now 74. This is crazy. So essentially what's happening is BTC is stalling and the alts are roaring. Look at this last 90 days. All these right here that are above this orange BTC, they're beating the doors off of Bitcoin. All right, so here's what happened. The stopgap measures to avoid the government shutdown failed in the Senate. They don't have good support from the Republicans, enough to push it over the line, and they don't have support from the Democrats to push it over the line. So now it's like, oh, crap. And by the way, deadline, October 1st, September 30th, all right, at night. We're going to keep an eye on this. Like I said, we run into problems with shutdown, it's going to get way worse. Hex Trust CEO Alessio Cagliani says U.S. regulatory clarity will unlock Bitcoin's next wave. I don't think the regulatory clarity is going to unlock Bitcoin's next wave. I think that's going to unlock the altcoins because think Bitcoin has the golden pass, right? Bitcoin's already looked at as a commodity. The alts don't have any regs to protect them. So what does Bitcoin gain out of this? Nothing. This is all for the alts, baby. Now, could you see Bitcoin move on this? Sure. But I think your altcoin dominance is going to extend as we get these regs. Give it a few months. Every single bank in the U.S. provide custody services, Alessio said. That's when we'll have the real adoption, when banks start offering Bitcoin deposits, crypto deposits, trading, and even structured products. His comments come as Washington signals greater openness to crypto integration. Alicio said banks globally have run pilots with digital assets. We know that. But the regs are going to benefit the alts. This is just BTC maxis, everyone, trying to get you to think that BTC is the only bag. Well, then, why are so many of these altcoins beating BTC over the last 90 days? Stellar's doing their Meridian thing. And if you want the most up-to-date information on Stellar, you could check out Twitter. I've got their information linked down below. Excited to bring Layer 0 to Stellar.org. Unlock the true native interoperability for our existing partners. PayPal, Ondo, Centrifuge, Paxos, and all those. Supercharge this amazing ecosystem with new applications, assets, and builders. Oh, okay, I like that. What else do we got going on? More innovation. Decaf, Etherfused, Defindex, and Stellar. Okay, I like that. More things coming out from Meridian, right? A lot of energy. People are talking about building, which is all well and good. I think a lot of projects are getting a bump of enthusiasm with this, and we've seen some important announcements from Stellar. By the way, PayPal PYUSD is live as well. Too bad there's more than 20 scam PYUSDs on the Stellar chain. Oopsies. Yeah, they're going to have to fix that. And again, all the cool things with Meridian are out there for you to check out. The problem is the market didn't care. Like, this is the price chart for the last 7 days. Do you see Meridian anywhere in here that happened? No, the market just simply didn't care. And I think that's a big problem that Stellar has, is when they announce this stuff, the market looks at this and goes, yo, girlfriend, nothing burgers. Otherwise, you'd see a bump in volume. There's no bump in volume. Volume here, 158 million in the last 24 hours. That's not going to do anything. Mercado Bitcoin on Stellar, cool. Mercado Bitcoin has been doing stuff with players all over crypto. This is nothing new, and that's my whole point. So yes, we've got some good ecosystem news, but the market doesn't seem to really be listening. And yeah, they're talking about innovation. They're talking about all this big stuff, but aren't you here for the price action instead of the ecosystem action? Now, Brad Garlinghouse says that XRP can make the list of U.S. government asset stockpiles. Yeah, Trump tweeted about it on March 2nd or 3rd. I've shared that. The problem we got, though, is for this asset stockpile in Los Estados Unidos government, right? They don't want to add to the deficit, which means all their assets are going to have to come from seized assets or from extra money that they've raised right now. And right now, the United States government doesn't own any XRP in seized assets. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has expressed confidence that XRP will be included in the government's upcoming digital asset stockpile. Speaking in an interview, Garlinghouse added that multiple applications for a spot ETF for XRP are currently under review. The real ones, not the Rex Osprey bullshit, which I told you was a nothing burger, as you could see, obviously, by this lack of price action here. Yeah, exactly. The comments come amid broader optimism surrounding Ripple's position in the U.S. regulatory landscape. We couldn't get a meeting in the White House until Trump came, and now we're welcome. So there is a big change. But the whole thing with Ripple and XRP is this. We want XRP to be included in the strategic reserve, but the United States government wants it to be budget neutral. So it's not like Sailor, it's not like Metaplanet where they want to raise debt to buy these crypto assets. They want to use cash already on hand or excess funds. And last time I checked, the government from Los Estados Unidos is in like, what, 36, 37 trillion in debt? So if we're like heavily in debt, where's that money gonna come from? And think, outside of the crypto sphere, people that aren't into crypto are gonna be like, why the fuck are we spending government surplus on crypto? This makes no sense. Yeah, so we gotta watch out for that. Overall, in the broader crypto market, like I said, volume is kind of a meh burger right now. BNB is still over $1,000, $1,045, while ETH is at $44.92. Fear and greed, we're at 48 out of 100, which is good because it signals that we've got some upside potential without too much risk. XRP's volume, under 3 billion. Yeah, under 3 billion. So we're kind of seeing the market go back to its kind of chill out zone right now. You're seeing some volatility in the market. Nothing too crazy over these last 7 days. And honestly, I think you're going to see the real juice come with ETFs and regs. No, I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to be the beneficiary. I believe the alts are going to be. XRP will be the real beneficiary though when we get the spot ETFs in, not the Rex Osprey bullshit one, but the spot ones happening in October, November, most of them honestly happening in November. And regs, October or November. So XRP fans, I know Brad's excited about XRP making it in the list of government asset stockpiles, but if they're going to do it being budget neutral and we're in a serious deficit of like 37 trillion, where's that money going to come from, girlfriend? It ain't going to come from Doge because we saw what problems we had getting that through Congress, and Well, I think most people in the United States would rather have a stimmy check sent to them rather than the US investing in XRP. So you're going to see the stock markets along with the crypto markets react very heavily to government shutdown news. Why is this big? Because if the government shuts down, guess what we're not doing? We're not doing jack shit with the strategic reserve. We're also going to go to a skeleton crew in the government, which means what? They're going to focus on funding the government more so than regs. And see, that's kind of the problem right now. Is as much as you and I like crypto, and as much as like for us, it's like a really big priority, for a lot of people in the United States, crypto is not a priority. So ask yourself this: what would people in the United States rather have? Regs or avoid a government shutdown? Yeah, avoid the government shutdown. What would we rather have? XRP strategic reserve or stimmy checks sent to people? People are going to go with the stimmy checks. So you got to kind of see it's all about priorities. And as like I said, as much as you and I like crypto, the majority of people in the United States aren't really that into crypto, which kind of sucks for us. But don't worry, we got regs coming. I think that's going to help us out. Now, Stellar had some big announcements from Meridian, but again, it didn't move the price at all. The market doesn't really listen to Stellar. That's not me knocking on them. That's me showing you. These are the big events that happened. This is the price action you got. Big events, price action. Nothing burger. Exactly. Good for the ecosystem. I think it's great. I think it's great for the builders. I think it's great that they get out there. But how many Meridians have we seen where really nothing juicy has come out of it? Oh, yeah, MoneyGram, but that didn't bring any juice. In fact, they're still doing that shit, trying to get people to use MoneyGram, and, like, no one knows about it. All the interoperability, that's cool, but what do people want? Price action for XLM. They want Stellar to start using XLM. Yeah, I know. And not just for giveaways for people either, because, I mean, like, you know, Stellar Community Fund stuff, come on now. We want you to do something with it. So, yeah, government shutdown, priority right now. Interest rates, back burner until that gets settled. Regs, back burner until that gets settled. Welcome to the beautiful government. Los Estados Unidos, everyone. Choo-choo what? Choo-choo United States government. Choo-choo government shutdown? I got my passport, so I'm good to go. Choo-choo bitches? I think, is that the phrase we use on the channel? Hold on. Let me do this. I have a really bad memory. Let me check. There's something flashing behind me. It's choo-choo something. Choo-choo. Yeah, it is choo-choo bitches.